Well, good evening. It's just past 6 o'clock on the 5th of November, and welcome to the weekly news programme. Now, news is hit, I think, late last night or early this morning that train services will remain cancelled or severely disrupted despite the suspension of rail strikes. Great Western Railways and South Western Railways have welcomed the RMT's decision to cancel industrial action planned for the weekend, Monday and Wednesday. However, the company has warned that news comes too late to improve planned timescales over the weekend and into the early part of next week. The train operator is working hard to reinstate services into next week, but given the late notice, they're offering advice only to travel still if absolutely necessary on Saturday and Monday. GWR Managing Director Mark Hopwood said, "It is positive that talks with the RMT trade union appear to be showing some progress, and we're hopeful that today's news brings us a step closer to finding a resolution to this long-running dispute. Unfortunately, with less than 12 hours notice before the strike was due to start, it is too late to restore normal timetables and spare customers from disruption tomorrow and the early part of next week. Our advice remains to only travel by rail if absolutely necessary." Well, of course, it is bonfire night this evening, and not the best weather for a bonfire night. But Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Services urging local people to attend organised displays rather than holding their own at home. Safe and Well manager Vicky Thomas said, "We would always urge people to attend organised bonfire and fireworks events as it's much safer. In addition, it reduces the potential pressure on the fire and rescue services at a time of year when we can be extremely busy. Watching fireworks at a secured site behind a safety cordon is the best way to celebrate safely and avoid injury. Plus, many such events raise money for the local community or charities. It's also fairer to pet owners as they will know when and where displays are taking place." However, the advice from Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue, if you are still having a display at home, is to plan your firework display to make it safe and enjoyable, and check the time you can legally set off fireworks. Make sure you only buy those fireworks that carry a CE or UKCA mark and keep them in a closed box and use them one at a time. Read and follow the instructions on each firework using a torch if necessary. Light the firework at arm's length with a taper and stand well back. Keep naked flames, including cigarettes, away from fireworks. Never return to a firework once it's been lit. Don't put fireworks in pockets and never throw them. And direct any rocket fireworks away from spectators. And most importantly, if you're having a bonfire, never use paraffin or petrol to start your bonfire, particularly obviously when it's wet, as that can be incredibly dangerous. Also, they are suggesting that if there is any antisocial behaviour, it can be reported anonymously on Crime Stoppers 0800 555 111. And if you want more advice about running a event safely, go to www.dwfr.org.uk/fireworks. I imagine because it is wet tonight that some of the events will be delayed to either next weekend or maybe tomorrow, depending on the weather. So we could be having fireworks for a few more nights yet. Now, local charity Weymouth Town Charities, that runs the Sir Samuel Myco Charities and the Sir Henry Edwards Charities, is looking for a new trustee due to the retirement in rotation of one of the existing trustees. The charity, when it has all its vacancies filled, has 9 trustees who run the Sir Samuel Myco Charities, giving youth grants and scholarships to around 100 local young people each year, and the Sir Henry Edwards Charities running 32 low-cost properties, giving accommodation to older people who are unable to put a roof over their head. Now, if you might be interested in serving the people of Weymouth and Portland, both the younger people and the older people, by becoming a trustee of Weymouth Town Charities, pop along to their website, www.weymouthtowncharities.org.uk. There is a news article on the homepage and an application form, a very short application form that you need to get in by the 18th of November. Of course, if you've got any questions or have any trouble with that process, drop us a line at news@wykeregis.tv and we will of course be happy to help. Now, the Police and Crime Commissioner for Dorset has launched a public contact survey giving Dorset residents a chance to feed back their views on how connected and engaged they feel when it comes to their police service. The survey asked participants to share how they would like to be able to contact the police and for examples of excellent customer service experience. Findings from this work will be used to influence Dorset Police's future contact and engagement projects. Dorset Police and Crime Commissioner David Sillick said, "Priority 2 of my police and crime plan centres on making policing more visible and connected. So with this survey, I want to know more about how you would prefer to make contact and engage with Dorset Police. This is your opportunity to tell us if you want to be able to live chat with someone online or if you'd rather have a front desk to go to, or whether you would prefer to send an online report or an email. I also want to hear about the brilliant customer service you've had elsewhere. Is Amazon excellent? Do Aldi go above and beyond? So please take the survey and help to shape the service you receive when you contact Dorset Police." Now, to take part in that survey, if you search for Dorset Police and Crime Commissioner and you go to his website, which is dorset.pcc.police.uk, click the Get Involved tab at the top of the page and then look for the Consultations and Surveys button and you'll find the survey to take part in there. I hope you'll take the opportunity to do that and help shape the future ways that we will be contacting Dorset Police. Now, also staying with the Police and Crime Commissioner, news this week has been released by the Police and the Police and Crime Commissioner that Dorset Police has recruited an extra 113 student police officers as part of the National Uplift Programme. In 2019, the government announced plans to recruit an extra 20,000 officers over 3 years, and by the end of September 2022, a total of 15,343 additional officers have been recruited by police forces across England and Wales. In Dorset, the uplift funding injection meant that Dorset needed to recruit an additional 166 police officers by the end of March 2023, with 113 joining the force in total at the end of September 2022. The recruitment is on top of existing planned recruitment and intakes and was already planned for the coming 5 months to enable the force to meet its targets. The force has recruited officers by a variety of entry routes, including police constable degree apprenticeship, degree holder entry programme, detective degree holder entry programme, as well as a number of officers rejoining the service and transferring to Dorset from other forces. Uplift has seen an increase in the number of women in policing, which has now reached more than 50,000 for the first time since records began. In Dorset, women now make up 37.5% of police officers in the county, and since April 2020, a total of 43.8% of new joiners to the force identify as female. There is also 50% more ethnic officers in Dorset than there were 3 years ago. Now, you can also have your say on another consultation, this time from Dorset Council. At its full council meeting on the 20th of October, Dorset Council has agreed to carry out further community governance reviews for several of Dorset's current parish and town councils, which were removed from the public consultation previously. They include the parishes forming the Vale of Allen Parish Council, Winterbourne Farringdon Parish Council, plus Chickerell Town Council and Weymouth Town Council. In response to this agreement, Dorset Council is launching an 8-week public consultation, allowing people living in the area listed and other interested parties to have their say on the most suitable ways of representing them. The consultation will run from the 1st of November until the 28th of December, asking for people's views on the proposals in the review. To have your say, please visit the Governance Review, Weymouth surrounding areas and Vale of Allen Dorset Council. So you go to the Dorset Council website and search for that. The Secretary of State for Communities and Local Government recommends that principal councils should undertake a review of this sort every 10 to 15 years. You can pick up a paper copy from your libraries in Chickerell, Wyke, Regis, Littlemore or Weymouth Town Centre if you'd rather have it on paper. You can also call Dorset Council on 01305 221 000 and one of the customer service team will help you complete the survey over the telephone. So online, pick it up at your library or by telephone by contacting Dorset Council. The biggest council forming part of the review is Weymouth, for which there are currently 2 proposed options. Option 1, the proposal follows Dorset Council ward boundaries, creating 13 town wards with 24 councillors. Option 1 includes taking parts of Chickerell and Bingham into Weymouth. In Bingham, a large development of 500 homes has recently been granted planning permission. Dorset Council welcomes the views on the names of the proposed wards as well. And option 2, the second proposal, following Dorset Council ward boundaries, creating 13 town wards with 24 councillors, but option 2 does not include taking part of Chickerell into Weymouth, but does include the new area of Bingham coming into Weymouth. This has largely been supported by the parishes forming the Winterbourne-Farringdon Parish Council. As I say, Dorset Council welcomes your views on this and the views on the names of the proposed wards. Now, a new project has been launched in Weymouth which will help to keep young women safer when they are outside of their family home. The Pineapple Project uses the principles of community guardianship to give young women a safe haven when things do not go to plan, perhaps by stepping into a local shop where they can charge their phone or put some distance between them and the person who is bothering them. The mantra of the project is that all young women should feel safe in their communities where they live. They should be given the opportunity to understand their right to safety, and they should be able to seek the right support at the right time. The businesses which are taking part will be able to be recognised by a sign that could mean that a young person is at risk of harm and know where they can go for help. They will also have a toolkit which they can refer to. The project is led by Targeted Youth Work and Children's Social Care from Chesil locality in collaboration between Dorset Council, Dorset Police, Weymouth College, Targeted Sexual Health Services and the young women themselves. It forms part of a wider initiative, Chesil Hidden Girls, to promote safety for young women in Weymouth and Portland. Following the launch, the team will be promoting the project to young women in Weymouth, but will also be educating all young people within schools around about their right to safety. The team will use the experiences of how the project works in practice to further improve it, and will ask all those signed up as a community guardians to promote the project. Although this is a pilot in Weymouth, the team is hoping to expand a similar model to Portland and to look at how it could be adapted to encompass mobile community gardens for when young girls are out and about. Now, Great Western Railway has underlined its support for the Armed Forces community by signing the Armed Forces Covenant. The Covenant is a promise by the nation that those who serve or who have served in the armed forces and their families should be treated fairly when accessing services in the UK and do not face discrimination compared to other citizens. Great Western Railway is preparing to further demonstrate that support with its special Poppies to Paddington operation on Remembrance Day this Friday, the 11th of November. And of course, if you've been watching this programme for some time, you'll know that's something that we have shared with you before on this channel, and it's a fantastic experience where poppies come from stations all over the Great Western area and go off to Paddington on the train. This year will be the third time that GWR has joined forces with the Veterans Charity to carry out poppy wreaths from across the network to be laid at London Paddington's iconic War Memorial on Platform 1. And hopefully, if there is some footage of that this year or some photos, we'll be sharing that with you next weekend. Now, the coroner for Dorset is seeking the assistance of the public to find the next of kin of a man who lived in Weymouth. John Hilley, I think it's Hilley, Hiley, who was 73 years old, died at his home address in Old Castle Road on Tuesday the 2nd of November. His death is not being treated as suspicious and no police investigation is needed into his death. But Coroner's Officer Tracy Jean said, "We are not treating the death as suspicious. However, we have not been able to locate his next of kin. If any member of the public has any knowledge of his family members, please contact the Coroner's Office on 01202 123 900. So that's John Hilley, who was 73 years old, who died at his home address in Old Castle Road on Tuesday the 2nd of November. If you know any details about any family members or relatives, if you could contact the Dorset Coroner's Office on 01202 123 900, that would be good for them and obviously to be able to make contact with John's family. Now, West Dorset MP Chris Loader has said he is seeking to progress plans to construct a new GP surgery in Chickerell. Plans for a new surgery have been ongoing since 2009, but have been severely delayed following the decision by the Clinical Commissioning Group in 2014 not to pursue plans at the original site opposite the village hall owing to a lack of space. Wyke and Lanehouse Surgery are currently committed to providing additional provision for patients of Chickerell of 1 to 2 GP morning sessions or 1 whole day a week. Mr Loader met with the practice manager of the Wyke, Regis and Lanehouse Surgeries on the 2nd of November to discuss how to make further progress, overcome obstacles associated with recruiting potential practice partners and wider GP recruitment in West Dorset. On Tuesday the 20th of September, Mr Loader also organised to meet with Chickerell's 2 Dorset councillors in order to determine the next steps towards building a new GP surgery for the town. Mr Loader said, "I'm working hard to make progress on this, and I'm also urging Dorset Council to use its powers to raise the necessary funds through Section 106 funding for what proposes to be a vital and valuable asset for Chickerell." Now, a woman injured in a road traffic collision in Weymouth, which we covered in the programme last week, has very sadly died. The single vehicle collision occurred at around 3:15 p.m. on Tuesday the 25th of October on Chickerell Road, and it was reported that the car, an orange Peugeot, ended up on its roof. The driver, a woman aged in her 70s, was taken to hospital by the ambulance service and sadly died on Friday the 28th of October. Her family are obviously been informed and the coroner has been notified. Police Constable Tracy Downer of the traffic unit said, "We are continuing to investigate the circumstances of this collision, and I would urge any witnesses who have not already spoken to Dorset Police or anyone with any relevant dashcam footage to please come forward and contact us." Now, staying with Dorset Police, officers are investigating an incident where 2 teenagers were reportedly assaulted in Weymouth and are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward. At around 5:20 on Saturday the 22nd of October, Dorset Police received a report that a 17-year-old boy and a 15-year-old girl had been assaulted by a man and a woman who were known to them on the esplanade near to the sand sculptures. Both victims sustained cuts to their lips. Following inquiries, a 35-year-old man of no fixed abode and a 26-year-old Weymouth woman have been arrested on suspicion of assault occasioning actual bodily harm. They have been released on police bail as the investigation continues. Police Constable Alice Edgar of Weymouth Police said, "We are continuing to investigate this incident and I'm keen to hear from any witnesses who have not already spoken to the police. In particular, I understand a woman approached the victims and offered them tissues following the incident. I'd be keen to speak to this individual as they may have information to assist our inquiries." So if you are aware of either of those incidents, unfortunately the road traffic accident that the lady unfortunately sadly passed away, or that assault on Weymouth seafront, contact Dorset Police on 101 or anonymously via Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. Now, are you looking to make a difference in your local community? Well, round 4 of the Community and Culture Project Fund will open, or has opened, at 9 a.m. on Friday the 4th of November, yesterday. Do you have sports, arts or heritage project or an event you wish to get off the ground, or looking to support disadvantaged people living in the Dorset Council area? This fund could provide up to 80% of the total project costs, up to a maximum of £5,000. Community organisations with focused on the cost of living challenge for vulnerable people and those most in need in the Dorset Council area are encouraged particularly to apply. The types of cost of living projects that will be considered will focus on community warm spaces, especially in rural areas, community food projects including lunch clubs and dinner clubs, food banks and mental health well-being projects. Dorset Council say they also welcome and encourage application from arts, museums, heritage, physical activity and play in this funding round. For more information on the criteria, how to apply and to get support with your application, visit www.dorset-council.gov.uk/community-culture-project-fund. So if you just actually search for Dorset Council Community and Culture Project Fund, I am sure you will find all the information that you need. And finally, in our headlines tonight, Weymouth and Portland Lions Club annual variety show is planned to go ahead on Tuesday the 22nd of November at the Weymouth Pavilion Theatre with curtains up at 7:30. Lions Club President Julie Story said, "It's lovely to once again welcome everyone to the theatre to enjoy an evening in the company of Weymouth and Portland Lions Club and all the wonderful performers who give their time and talents to provide a fabulous evening of entertainment." Lions Close show chairman Lion Norman Stables said, "This year's lineup is as strong as ever. As a club, we're grateful to all the artists, performers, singers and dancers for giving up their time for free for the benefit of their community." And the acts this year include the Decadettes, Let's Dance, Wow, Alistair Dean, Replay, Anna Norman and Tony Lowe. Tickets are once again priced very reasonably at just £5, and they are available from the Pavilion box office. And please remember, every pound that you give through this, including anything extra you give on the night, goes to help the Lions Club support other local community charities and appeals, both in the locality and worldwide. Well, there we go. That's the end of tonight's headlines. And this week, we've heard that young people and their families who need that extra bit of support will benefit from a brand new facility in Weymouth. Dorset Council has opened a children's home named College House and an innovative children's outreach centre called the Harbour Hub, both located in the same building on Dorchester Road. The refurbishment project began over 16 months ago in May 2021 to provide much needed children's home facilities for Dorset Council. It has resulted in an impressive fully regenerated Edwardian building staffed by a team of over 20 from Dorset Council, Dorset Police and the NHS. Now, thanks to Dorset Council, we're now able to pay a visit to the Harbour Hub and College House and see what is available to young people in Dorset Road in Weymouth.
The Harbour is a package of support for children in care and on the edge of care. So we have different strands to the service. So one is residential.
We have a short-term property that will allow us to support up to 3 children, basically with the end goal of them going back home.
We've had outreach before and we've had residential before. We've never had a joint up service where we're looking for through care. The building's split.
The top part is where the children live, the bottom part is where the practitioners work.
College House is furnished through a reuse project. I think it's really homely and inviting and airy, and it's their home. We want them to be inviting their family, their friends, their parents into this space, using that space to be able to build those relationships, make those connections and complete those pieces of work that are integral to the part of them returning into the community.
We adopt a no heads on bed policy from the begin with. We want children to go through the assessment and the support we give them and to move back on home.
Part of our ethos is that we want to keep Dorset children in Dorset and keep those ties that they've built. So whether that be school, friends, family, we know that keeping them in their local area is best for them.
I think everyone wants to make a difference in some way. I just feel like I can make more of a difference when I'm there with someone.
It's been a project of love and passion.
I think Dorset has needed it for a long time.
We are so close to opening and it's so exciting. The amount of work that we've put into it and the vision that we've got is going to be amazing for our children and families.
We want Dorset to be a place to live, to work and to visit. And I strongly believe that if I didn't, I wouldn't be working here.
There we go. That looks absolutely fantastic. A new combined facility there for young people within the community in Weymouth. And thanks to Dorset Council for that video. And in our second piece tonight, we have another contribution from Wayne at Everything Dorset, who's been out and about visiting local businesses. And this week, he's visited the local business in Weymouth called Camber Cycle Works in Weymouth. So we'll now see what Wayne found out on his visit to Camber Cycle Works in Weymouth.
Hello, so this is Wayne from Everything Dorset, and today I'm in Weymouth at Camber Cycle Works, and I'm with the owner Simon, and he's going to tell us about his business here in Weymouth. So Simon, what is your business all about?
Well, it's a bicycle servicing and repair workshop. We repair all kinds of bikes, all makes and models. We do e-bikes as well. Generally around here it's mostly road bikes, but some mountain bikes as well. But also just any old pub bike that you used to do shopping on, or whatever it is, we'll take a look.
Fantastic. So e-bikes are becoming very popular. Are they difficult to work on? Is that something you've had to be trained to work on?
Yes, so we have some training. Generally speaking, they're not really that much different from normal bikes. It's only when you might have a problem with some of the electrics, the motor or the battery, for example. Things get a little bit more complicated and a little bit more expensive as well. But mechanically, at least, it's no different to any normal bike.
Oh, right, okay. So, and you quite a new business. You opened in May this year, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
And what did you do prior to that? Were you an office man, or?
I worked for another shop in town, and then I worked for a shop in London before that. And then long before that, I worked in the music industry, so a bit of career change about a decade ago or something like that.
Wow, so you've got quite a bit of experience then in the bike industry, which is always good.
Yes. That's right.
And you've got a business partner as well, is that right?
Yes, yeah, he's not here today, unfortunately, but there's two of us who run this place, and together we've been working in the bike industry for a combined amount of something like 20 years or something like that, so yeah, a lot of experience.
Fantastic. So are you involved in any cycling clubs in the area that you can tell us about?
Yes, we are, yeah, so we work quite closely with one of the biggest local clubs called Ridgeway Riders. So they've been great for us. Obviously they've brought us a lot of business, and it's been great just to get to know them as well, get to know some local people, and just be sort of part of a kind of local community, which is wonderful.
Fantastic. And do you offer any gift vouchers at Christmas, for example, for your bike repairs?
Yeah, we do, yeah, so you can buy a gift voucher any time really, but if you're struggling for a Christmas present idea for a cycling friend or family member, speak to us and we can do a gift voucher for you. You can use that towards servicing or any kind of parts and accessories or anything like that. And yeah, it'd be a great present idea.
Fantastic. So whereabouts in Weymouth are you, Simon?
So we're just on the Lynch Lane Trading Estate. So we're in a new development called the Courtyard Business Centre, and we're just tucked around the back. So there's plenty of car parking, plenty of test riding space, and yeah, that's where you'll find us.
Oh, great. So if someone wanted to get their bike repaired, how have they contacted you? Is it best for them to ring you or contact you online?
Yeah, you can call us or you can send us an email. All our details are on the website. Or we also get a lot of messages through Facebook as well and Instagram. Whatever communication channel you like, we'll pick it up.
Brilliant. Well, we'll put a link in the description of this interview so you can get Simon's details. So it was a really good speaking to you today, Simon, and best of luck with your new business here.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much there to Simon from Camber Cycle Works and Wayne from Everything Dorset. And if you want to pay the cycle shop there a visit, it's at the Courtyard Business Centre on Lynch Lane in Weymouth. Now it's that time in the programme where we go over to regular contributor Andrew Wright for this week's film review and preview.
Welcome to Wyke Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This week, Top Gun Maverick landed on home video after the original hit cinemas in 1986. The sequel focuses on Tom Cruise's Maverick training a new generation of fighter pilots to fly an impossible and dangerous mission, including the son of his deceased wingman Goose. The film has been in production for a decade before release and features sequences of the actors actually flying the fighter jets that their characters pilot in the film. The film is currently the highest grossing film of 2022 and is the second film of the COVID pandemic to gross $1 billion at the box office. So I checked out this film because it is important in film history as the original released 36 years ago and is pretty forgettable, but this film introduces it to a new generation. I found that this film is a worthy sequel and does manage to give closure to Maverick's storyline that we didn't know we needed. The aerial sequences are well directed and the script is decent in concept, but there are smaller character moments, primarily involving Jennifer Connelly's love interest, that are just blandly directed and fell flat. That was released. This trailer showcased more of the plot than had previously been released in the first trailer, which is mainly just to show off the visual effects. The film takes place 13 years after the original and revolves around Sam Worthington's Jake fighting to protect the Na'vi population of Pandora from recombinants, human soldiers resurrected from the dead after the original war, with their memories implanted in Na'vi bodies. The film has been in development since the original release back in 2009 and has been filming for 3 years alongside its sequels. Avatar: The Way of Water is in cinemas this Christmas season, courtesy of 20th Century Studios and Disney. This week, the main trailer was released for the long-awaited Ryan Reynolds-Will Ferrell collaboration Spirited, a modern-day movie musical reimagining of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. The film stars Will Ferrell as the ghost of Christmas Present, who picks the wrong Scrooge, played by Ryan Reynolds. The film is being promoted as a Christmas Carol told from the perspective of the ghosts with a musical twist. The film streams on Apple TV Plus on November 18th. This weekend marks the streaming release of Enola Holmes 2, the sequel to the 2020 film starring Stranger Things star Millie Bobby Brown as the little sister of Henry Cavill's Sherlock Holmes. The sequel so far has rave reviews from critics and centres on Enola and Sherlock working together on a case after they find them connected, whilst Enola is trying to be taken seriously as a woman and as a detective. The film streams this weekend on Netflix. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week with more film news. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much, Andrew, and sorry for the slight technical glitch there somewhere in the middle. I don't know, something happened with the wiring or something, and there's a bit of a glitch, but I do apologise for that. Now, following Andrew's report, I wanted to share with you a release that's out this week on a premium home video and soon to be out on DVD, and that's The Lost King. It's a remarkable true story of how one ordinary woman overcame every obstacle to track down the final resting place of Richard III. And many of you will have heard of this in the news a few years ago, where the final resting place was found in a car park. Now, it's available from Monday on digital rental on premium TV, and it'll be available for release on DVD from the 12th of December. So a good Christmas present if somebody likes sort of a bit of a drama with a historical twist. Now, The Lost King stars Oscar nominee and Golden Globe winning actress Sally Hawkins, Steve Coogan, Harry Lloyd as Richard III in the story. And basically the synopsis is, in 2012, having been lost for over 500 years, the remains of King Richard III were discovered beneath a car park in Leicester. The search had been orchestrated by an amateur historian, Philippa Langley, whose unrelenting research had been met with incomprehension by her friends and family and with scepticism by experts and academics. The Lost King is the life-affirming true story of a woman who refused to be ignored and who took on the country's most eminent historians, forcing them to think again about one of the most controversial kings in England's history. As I say, it's available from Monday on a premium download, available on DVD just before Christmas, nice Christmas present, and it's from Warner Brothers, and here's a taster for you now.
You're very competent and valued, Philippa, but I've decided you are at the right level for you.
Are you actually reading from an HR manual?
No.
What would improve things at work?
A penis.
You can have mine. Not very busy these days.
Mum, what are you doing?
You're coming to the theatre with me.
My kingdom for all!
I actually felt quite sorry for him. I'd quite like to visit his grave.
There isn't one. You sure you want to join this group? You look quite normal.
I'm not. Do you have any books on Richard III?
We have 8 titles.
I'll take them. Which ones? All of them. I know you're some sort of apparition. I've been trying to work out why you're here. I wonder if it's because you're lost. I know I can find him.
Who?
Richard.
Richard who?
Sorry, the third.
The king.
Yes.
This is starting to look like an unhealthy obsession.
I can't believe you just said that. I'm doing this for you.
Plenty have tried and failed. Well, I wish you the best of luck.
How can you possibly find him on your own?
The key is in the city archives.
All the information I need to find him, well, it's all out there. But I don't think anybody's brought it all together before.
If your research is accurate, he's now right in the middle of a car park.
You tell me what that letter represents.
Just means reserved.
Of course. I have the strongest feeling this is a very important historical site.
A feeling is what you get when you sit on a bus seat that's still warm.
I will fight you all the way on this. I want to dig for Richard.
It's the body of an adult male.
Boys, your mother's just found Richard III.
And I'm here today to tell you a story about a person who was judged unfairly in life. Sorry, Graham, I can't help noticing your hair. It looks a lot like Richard III's.
Yes?
There we go. Courtesy of Warner Brothers, The Lost King, available shortly and on DVD for Christmas. And it looks like a really fun film with some well-known faces in it and a bit of a historical twist. And it's a true story, of course. Right, it's that time in the programme where we get the national weather forecast. And today we are joined by Alex Burkill for the Saturday afternoon and evening forecast.
Hello, remember the 5th of November, and remember your brolly today. That's because many of us will have some wet and windy weather, all due to this frontal system that's sweeping its way eastwards across the UK. Notice it is likely to linger across parts of the southeast through Sunday, otherwise plenty of showers feeding in from the west before another frontal system arrives in time for Monday, bringing some unsettled weather then. Back to the here and now, and you can see as we start Saturday afternoon, a cloudy, wet picture for many parts of England, Wales and also Scotland, but something drier and brighter feeding in from the west across Northern Ireland and western parts later. Temperatures are a touch above average for the time of year for many, but in the southeast, where it is going to be cloudy, wet and windy, it's going to feel quite unpleasant at times. Taking a closer look as we go through Saturday evening, and if you are heading out for any fireworks displays, notice there'll be some cloudy wet weather across parts of the southeast, the rain holding on here. Further west and north though, largely clear skies and mostly dry, so favourable conditions for fireworks displays for many. Notice a few showers to watch out for towards western parts of Scotland and some more persistent rain for Orkney and Shetland though. As we go through Saturday night, and for many it will start largely dry with some clear skies, but some more persistent rain affecting parts of the southeast could be quite heavy at times, and then heavy showers piling in from the west as we go through the early hours of Sunday morning. Temperatures under any clear skies will dip a little bit, could get close to freezing across some parts of Scotland, and there may be a little bit of mist and fog around, but in the southeast where we've got that cloudy, wet and windy weather, it is going to stay quite mild. So as we go through Sunday then, a wet picture across parts of the southeast, particularly Sussex and Kent. Here's where we're going to see the rainfall totals really building up, 20 to 30 millimetres quite widely, perhaps a little bit more in some places. So some localised flooding and some difficult driving conditions here. Elsewhere though, and for many it's a day of sunshine and showers. The showers will be heavy at times with the risk of thunder. Temperatures are going to be similar today, perhaps a touch higher for some places. Notice in the southeast a greater chance of getting into the mid-teens Celsius with a bit more sunshine around too. The winds will be blustery or strong for some, particularly towards the west. There's further unsettled weather to come as we go through the next few days, so definitely worth keeping up to date with the full forecast on the website, our app and of course all of our social media channels. I'll see you later.
Thank you very much, Alex. And as Alex said, unsettled weather, so you won't be surprised when I put the local weather up to see that the week ahead is, again, cloudy, sunny spells and showers. and relatively mild. It seems to be that we've had the same story for quite a few weeks since the rain started after that long dry patch over the summer. But I guess we need to be thankful that we're not frozen and the road slippery. So yeah, wet, some sunny spells, generally mild for the week ahead. Okay, so we now move to our What's On session for this week. And what have we got coming for you? Well, firstly, looking at Weymouth Pavilion. 9th of November, classic ballet from the Nutcracker. 10th of November, Fairy Tale of New York. 40th anniversary Wow show coming up as well. I didn't put the date down for that, sorry about that, but that's coming up this coming week, I believe, or the week after. 26th of November, Queen Rhapsody. 30th of November, tribute to Hans Zimmer and John Williams. That'll be all about movie themes and what have you, I guess. 10th of December through to the 2nd of January is the Christmas pantomime, Sleeping Beauty. So do get your tickets in early for that. Always very popular, the Christmas pantomime. Now, the box office is online at weymouthpavilion.com or by telephone 01305 783 225. Now, within Wyke, we've got a few things coming up. Tomorrow, the Nota Bene Choir is doing a concert at All Saints Church at 6 p.m. And on Saturday the 3rd of December at 7:30 in Wyke Memorial Hall, the Portland Coves will be doing the concert before the fair, with of course Wyke Christmas Street Fair the following day on Sunday the 4th of December. Now, both of those events, tickets are available online at www.parishofwykeregis.org.uk/events. Also mentioned earlier in the programme, the Lions Club show, Tuesday the 22nd of November at the Weymouth Pavilion Theatre, curtains up at 7:30, and the tickets, £5 each, are available through the Pavilion office box office. Looking now at Arts Reach, The Odyssey by David Min. We mentioned that last week. Based very loosely on the epic poem of Homer, The Odyssey is a journey of all journeys. 11th of November, 7:30, Piddle Trentide Memorial Hall. 12th of November, 7:30, Shipton Gorge Village Hall. 13th of November, Langton Herring Village Hall. So some very, very close to us around the outskirts of Weymouth there. Also 13th of November, Sunday's Serenade. This is an ensemble from the Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra, flute, harp and cello. That's at St Christopher's Church, Winfrith at 2:30. And also Arts Reach at Royal Manor Theatre on Portland, 20th of November, 7:30. Roshni Roshni is a beautiful, intimate craft of dance and live music, transporting and uplifting the audience on a journey of joy. The soul-stirring performance is a captivating combination of Katak dance with live music from global palette of styles. Sumptuous music from different lands features caval and violin led by the bold rhythms of tabla percussion. So that's a little bit different. 20th of November, 7:30, Royal Manor Theatre. Tickets all available via the Arts Reach website, www.artsreach.co.uk, and of course you can download those. You can book stuff online, and you can also enter your details for their newsletter, and I'll send that out to you. And they do a very good leaflet newsletter. I've got one here with all their events that are coming up, and blimey, they do have a significant amount of events, stuff happening every week all over Dorset, and a complete range of stuff for all sorts of interest, from children to opera, etc. There's something there for everyone. Well worth looking at what Arts Reach are doing. Now, church services in Wyke Regis and surrounding area this weekend. Regular church service at All Saints Church tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning, communion service, and 9:45 is the monthly cafe church service, where breakfast is served from about 9:15, and then the short family-friendly, children-friendly service with lots of singing and joining in tomorrow, 9:45 All Saints Church, 11 o'clock St Edmund's Church for communion. The other things that we have on this weekend, we've got our quiz tonight at 7:30, live online, and anybody's welcome to join that. It's free and for the whole community, family friendly, etc. The stream will go live at 7:15. And we've got the November version of A Year Gardening from Clive Gray, going out for the first time at 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and repeated on Friday at 7. So that's A Year Gardening with Clive Gray. Now, just looking at traffic and travel, the major sort of disruption this weekend and the week ahead, of course, rail, still problems on the rail with the strike being cancelled, but obviously all the trains in the wrong place and everything being cancelled. Major roadworks this week, these are ones where there's likely to be delay or traffic lights. Garston Hill, Chickerell, Nottington Lane, Chafees Avenue and the Rise at South Hill, and still some around the town centre with the bridge work going on. Now that brings us to the end of this week's programme. Of course, if you've got any events coming up, particularly in the run-up to Christmas, any Christmas bazaars or pantomimes or anything like that, or any fundraising activities you're involved in, or any news stories, do let us know at news@Wyke Regis TV. We would love to share it with everybody. But other than that, that's all we have for you this weekend. We'll be back again 6 o'clock next Saturday. Thank you for joining us. I hope that if you want to celebrate Fireworks Night with some fireworks, that sometime you do get the opportunity to go along to an event and the rain stops long enough for the fireworks to be set off. If fireworks aren't your thing, do stay in, stay safe, and we look forward to you being with us again 6 o'clock next Saturday evening. Good night.